Why hello everybody, Spencer here, also known as LEGO Dude 11, and in today's video, this is my Civil War spoiler review, so without further ado, let's discuss. Alright guys, so as I just mentioned, this is a spoiler review for the movie Civil War that came out in 2024. As of this recording, if you're watching this in the future, that's why I'm prefacing the year. Also, it's not Captain America Civil War. I know many people might be confused. I talked with a couple of my friends after the movie, and they were like, what movie did you go see? I've never heard of it. Like, yeah, it just came out. It's not Captain America Civil War. That movie's been out for a while. I've seen it many times. Even though I love rewatching Marvel movies, this is a new film called Civil War, directed by Alex Garland, who's done Ex Machina, Annihilation, two movies that are awesome. Go watch those movies. He also did 24 Hours, or 28 Days Later, not 24 Hours, that's a different movie. 28 Days Later, which I had never seen. It's like a horror film that I should probably watch. But anyway, this is a great movie. This is a movie done by the studio A24, and I'm going to get to the end of the video whether or not I think, personally, you should, in the comments below, let me know if A24 is the best movie company as of right now. But I'm going to elaborate into the end of the video as to why I think it is. But let's start off this review with the score and the soundtrack, because I love doing that, guys. So Ben Salisbury and Jeff Barrow did the soundtrack for this. It is great. Now, I don't want to say it's the best score of the year, because it's not. I love Dune a lot. I think that score by Hans Zimmer is great. But this one works for the film. There's some good stuff. There's some interesting. I want to know if this is actually part of the score itself or part of songs. So there's some songs in there. There's some songs that are like radio songs. I mean like actual songs written by someone that are put in the film. But there's also music like little just piano accompaniments or piano without lyrics. I forget what the anyway. Just non-vocal, and it works really well in the scene. For instance, there's a scene where there's just a big battle happening, and there's no dialogue. Like, it's just explosions, and it's just like little piano music, and it's like it's not the moment you expect that music to be in, but it's just really, it works really well, and I loved it a lot. So I love the score. I don't know either of these people, but I like the score, and I was interested to hear it, and I think it really works in this movie. Also, guys, this is not the film that you would expect to be watching. This is not the film that you're expecting to watch going into it. You think of the film, you think of a movie called Civil War to be all about battles and action and whatnot. There's action in it. But what's awesome about this movie, and what I like, and what I'm going to elaborate more on this review, is why I like, or this is a movie where I sat down to watch it. I was prepared because I heard a lot of great things about this movie. And I think that people going in were like, oh, movie called Civil War after the trailer, and we're like, big epic movie of the year, epic showdown. And that's kind of what we get in the finale, but not progressively. It's not all like battle, 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 battle. It's a movie about journalists and how they work in the press, and how they're working in our government. And also, not just that, but leading up to find their target, who is the president. It's really, it's so interesting to learn about these journalists and photographers in this war, Civil War nonetheless, and on these two sides, the Texas and the California forces, and then going on this road trip to Washington, D.C. to take down the president. Oh my god, it's such good stuff, and I love, that's basically the story of it. It's not the film you'd expect, based off of the title called Civil War, because I'm watching this going, man, this is a film called Civil War, which there's a lot of great action. I'm gonna talk about the action in a moment, but the title could be changed to The Press or anything like the photographers in the Civil War. It could be different, but they called it Civil War, which I have no problem with. Like, it makes a whole lot of sense, right? It's called Civil War because there's a Civil War. but a lot of the film, there's most of what the film entails is about the journalists and their story. So I'm not saying that's bad. I'm not saying I thought it was bad because of it, and I'm not saying I didn't like it. I love this movie. It's definitely going in my top 10 of the year. But I'm warning those people that are like, oh, cool, Civil War, action. That's what I got. That's what I want. That's what I'm going to get in this movie. Like, no. Like, yes, but not the entire thing. So I just kind of warn you about that. So that's basically what this movie is. There's some great... Oh my god, I just don't know where to begin. There's so many good things. Basically, there's... Like I said, there's a road... This is a road trip. There's basically a bunch of sequences in this movie where it's going... They're trying to get to Washington, D.C. Basically, there's a moment in the movie... They're going to the destination, and you see them talking about like how the journalists came to be. They're at this stadium, and she's the one girl who's learning to be a journalist is talking to Kirsten Dunst. Kirsten Dunst is great in this movie. Wagner Moura, who plays the wolf in Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, is great as well. There's Nick Offerman as the president. We get who else is in this? The one guy, the old guy who's from the Suicide Squad, who's been in a couple other things I know, great as well. And she's learning to be a reporter. The girl is talking to Kirsten Dunst, who's one of her idols, and it's just great. And she's like telling her like, I read your Wikipedia page, but there's more that you don't know. And then they go on to this like carnival or of some sort, and there's some action going on in there as well. There's this like in the middle of the film. There's an action sequence like they're going upstairs, and there's this guy who's there who's worried, and then they kill him, and then there's just a great action sequence. Some of the action's great. I love all these shots in nature as well. The shots that like are in between the driving. It's just so like irrelevant, but at the same time so good. And I love the directing by Alex Garland, by the way. The directing this film is great. So there's that as well. There's also a sequence as they're driving. It says how far away they are, and then there's this car that comes up, like that's just coming up, and it's going so fast, and it's like that, and I'm like, what the hell? And then you notice that it's these two guys from the beginning where they're at this bar and the two people are getting drunk. And Wagner Moura is like, I know you. Did I tell you where I was going in New York? And I'm like, maybe. So they jump, the one guy who's in the shotgun seat, passenger seat, jumps into the other car. The girl who wants to become a reporter jumps into the other car, and then they take off. And they're like, where did they go? And the next thing you know, Jeffrey Irons, or I think, is it Jeffrey Irons? Let me look this up real quick. Is it Jesse Plemons? Jesse Plemons, who was in Game Night, who's a great actor, by the way. Love him. Let me look while I'm looking at the cast right now. Let me look at the other guy. Stephen McKinley, who plays Sammy. And so Jesse Plemons is there, and he's like, they have like a dump truck of people that they've killed, and they're putting them into this pit. And believe it or not, this was probably one of my favorite. There's so many good action sequences, but this was probably my favorite moment in the movie, and I'll tell you as to why. Because there were some great explosions that were like woo woo, but this one in particular, there's a lot of explosions and action that shook the theater. But I'll tell you as to why this was my favorite moment. Because it told me as to why I shouldn't, and anybody shouldn't be racist, right? There's these two guys in the car who are driving, speeding, right? And there's one guy, the girl who wants to be a reporter, and then this other guy who was in the car who took her away, got captured. They're standing with Jesse Plemons, and Jesse Plemons is like, basically Wagner Moura, Kirsten Dunst, and the other guy's like, I'll go. The guy from Hong Kong's like, I'll go. Stephen McKinley's like, I'll stay over here because I'm old and I can't run. That's what they told him to do. He says, stay right here. So they walk over and they're like, hey, like, Like, it's okay. We're the press. And he's like, okay, where are you from? Like, what kind of American are you? And he's like they're all like, we're from this state, Florida, Colorado, and Missouri. So he's like, cool. He asks the girl who she's like, answer. He asks the guy behind him where he's from. He's like, Hong Kong. So he kills the one guy who took her away, the one other guy, just for no reason. He didn't even say where he's from. But the other guy who's hiding behind Wagner Moura is like, and Kirsten Dunst, he's like, I'm from. He's like, can you speak English? And he's like, yes, I'm from Hong Kong. After that, Jesse Plemons just shoots him, and I was like, and he's like, oh, so China, boom, you're dead. So essentially, this guy hates Chinese, hates anybody who's not from the U.S., America. Essentially, is what the deal was. So that was it wasn't my favorite part of the film because A, a guy died, or because B, he was from China. No, the fact that it was so tense that this guy died, or that this guy hates other people from the U.S., it just shows you how stupid and ridiculous people are. Like, are you kidding me? Oh my god, it made me mad, but it made me realize that's why nobody should act like that. So I loved it. I just thought that moment was great. And then going off of that, there's just some great sequences where they're taking photos. And one moment in the film, the girl reporter, the girl who's talking to Kirsten Dunst, is like, don't look at this. Don't look at this film. It's not good. This exposure is not good. Just don't look at it. I'm like, hey, I've learned about exposure in my photography classes. Good stuff. So, some great action, by the way. In the final act, like the third act kicks into high gear, I feel like I said, there's a great moment where the music, there's explosions, but you just see it on screen, you don't hear it. So it's awesome. And then there's the whole battle that takes place. They say they're in Washington. They finally made it. Oh yeah, and the guy, unfortunately, Stephen McKinley hits the car with Jesse Plemons, and they take off, and then they go to the military base, their base. So they go to the base, and the press base, and then they meet with everybody, and then he dies. Stephen McKinley's character dies, unfortunately. And then, so there's a whole big battle happening at the end. They make it to DC, and there's a whole battle happening. Boom, boom, boom. Good action. Love it. I love how descriptive it was. Boom, boom, boom. Good action. But to elaborate, there's a good big battle. I loved it. And mind blank. And then they make it inside the White House. They're like, how close we are. There's this tension, like this tank just goes through the wall, and they're like, we're so close. We gotta get there. So they make it, and they're giving orders. They're giving orders throughout the White House. Like, go, go, go. This room, this way. And then you see the girl just taking pictures. They're just taking pictures behind the soldiers. Soldiers, I guess, army. I don't know what they were. The soldiers. That's a great way to put it. And then the last, second to last scene of the movie, you see Kirsten Dunst just standing there, and see the girl reporter just going out in the middle of the hallway trying to take a picture. There's a guy with the gun. And you see Kirsten Dunst go, no, it's slow-mo, and pushes the girl, and then Kirsten Dunst, as the girl's taking a picture, Kirsten Dunst is like this. And she just falls, and she dies. Her character dies. It's so sad. And I was like, no, don't go. But what's crazy about this movie, and I'm going to get this in a minute, is they make it to the Oval Office. And Nick Offerman is just sitting there like, no, all the guns are held to his face, and the guy's like, by the way, the guy, Wagner Moura, wanted an interview with him. And he asks him a question. He's like, please don't kill me. And he's like, fine. So everybody just kills him, and they kill the president. And I was like, you know what? Stephen McKinley died, Kirsten Dunst died, and the president, Nick Offerman, died. I'm like, man, but this is like Rogue One. It's the same thing in Rogue One. This is a great directed movie, right? They achieved their goal. Couple people died along the way, but the reporter and Wagner Moura survived. The two people, Wagner Moura, the girl reporter, took a picture of what happened there at the White House. Great ending shot, though, of this movie, that they achieved their goal of what they were going for, and I loved it. This has to be my favorite. I just watched Bodies, Bodies, Bodies a couple weeks ago before this. It was the day of the eclipse, actually, that happened. I haven't talked about that. I'll talk about that in another video. But I have to say, this is probably my favorite. Actually, scratch that. I love Everything Everywhere All at Once. That's my favorite. But this is probably my second favorite A24 film. This is so dang good. If I could swear on this channel, I would. So dang good. My rating for the finale is awesome. The last act of this movie is awesome. It was a little bit slow. Excuse me for my nose. I kind of scratch. I have some allergies right now. There's weather outside, but the movie's a little bit slow. It picks up the pace as it goes along. I feel like it's a little bit of a story you have to get into, but once it starts going, you're invested. It's only an hour and 40 minutes, so without credits. It's an hour and 49 with credits. So I love this film. I give it an 8 out of 10. Even a 9. Maybe a 9 out of 10. I'd say a 9. Because 8 or a 9. I give it an 8.5. This film is so hard to rank. I don't know what I'm doing. I give it an 8.5. That's my justified rate. I give it an 8.5 because I liked it a lot, but I know some people aren't going to give it I know some people are going to look forward to more action, and that's okay with me. I'd give it a 9, but I think an 8.5 is like right in the sweet spot where I want to give it. So Civil War 2024, directed by Alex Garland, is an 8.5 out of 10. Make sure you go see this movie. I highly recommend it. I'm so glad I got to see this one in theaters on the big screen because I know there's no way passing this up. By the way, it's a little bit of a late review because I was hoping to see it the weekend it came out, and then there's some problems with my friend's car. So anyway, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, LegoDude11. Don't forget to subscribe, follow me at Boba Fett Jedi Master. The link is down below over on Instagram. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow me, and as always, guys, don't forget to keep calm, play Lego, peace out, watch stuff, peace out, everyone, bye.